And good morning. It is Monday all over again. Today is July the 7th. We all celebrated the 4th of July over the weekend. It was perfect. Had a lot of fun with this. Great weather here in the Meridian area. We'll get into telling you about what went on in Texas a little bit later on this morning as our hearts pour out for the community of Texas there. Awful, awful, awful. What we have right now is 72 as we begin this day. A 40% chance of an afternoon shower in the afternoon. Sometime after 2 o'clock is what we're expecting. But hot weather. 95 with a heat index reaching about 100 today. Whew. I'd yawn, but I'm afraid I'd start an epidemic. It's amazing how that stuff spreads, isn't it? We do hope you're feeling well as we begin a new week. As we'll get ready for the Choctaw Indian Fair this week. That's going to be big in Philadelphia there at Choctaw, Mississippi. We'll tell you about that. We're going up on Wednesday also to the big shows. So we'll have all that coming up. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. With each and every day, we get a new beginning, a new try at life. And, well, here's Brother Ben. He's going to tell you more about that.
Have you ever noticed that receiving command is easier when it comes from somebody who loves you? Now in Philippians 4:1, Paul addresses followers of Christ with tender affection. He says, "My brothers whom I love and long for, my joy and my crown." He then gives them a command. Stand firm in the Lord. But notice the order there, right? Before the command ever comes, there's a reminder of how deeply loved they are. In fact, it's that love that leads to the command to stand firm in the Lord. Now, standing firm in the Lord is not about gritting your teeth or proving your strength. It's about anchoring your soul in the love of Christ and the support of His people. Paul's words here, they reflect the heart of God. You see, He loves you, longs for you. You are His joy. And that's because where you stand with Him, right? You're not standing or fighting alone when you stand in that battle. We all face trials that threaten to shake our faith, but when we know that we're cherished by God and His people, then we find strength to keep on standing. Grace is what grounds us. Encouragement is what lifts us. So when life shakes you up, don't give up. Stand firm, not because you're strong, but because you are loved. You're part of the family of God. And so let His affection be the foundation underneath your feet. You're longed for, valued, and held. That's why you can stand. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that message this morning. Chet asked us for prayers there as he's got a friend of his having surgery in Jackson today. Total knee replacement. Whew, it's pretty tough there. As I look at our first story, I have to say I went for years. I've recently had my very first one. I know this sounds outdated, but, well, my car didn't have a backup camera. It's just recently until I got that. It's pretty neat. Hooking up trailers are the absolute quickest thing now. No longer do you have to get out 15 times to see how close you are and to readjust. It's wonderful. Ford recalling about 200,000 cars with backup camera issues. It dates back as late as 2018 models, and it goes from Ford Bronco Sports to EcoSports to Escapes to Expeditions. Even got a number at 866-436-7332 that you can call to see if your car is involved in that recall there. It doesn't cost you anything. They'll just put some new software in for your camera, and it will be fixed. Pretty neat little deal. But the greatest thing, if you've got like I was, and I probably should have added one to my older model to have that backup camera, I just didn't think of it. It's quite the thing there. I know a lot of you were worried about who would win the hot dog eating contest. The judge was contacting us last night about who was going to win this. He was real upset about he wasn't able to enter. But Joey Jaws Chestnut has gone to New York and reclaimed the title. He wins his 17th hot dog eating contest. That guy can put them down. He ate 70 and a half hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. His best record was back in 21 where he ate 76. You would have to be sick for days. I can't imagine doing that to your body. I really can't. I don't know how do you train for that?
By stuffing yourself with hot dogs.
That can't be good for you. But he won 70 and a half hot dogs, 10 minutes. Huh.
You gotta go to the hospital and get pumped out.
What is the prize for that? It would have to be, it ain't that big, is it?
I
Just
think
bragging
it's a fair
right?
amount.
Okay, well, we'll look up and see what it is that he actually won doing that. But congratulations if you're a big hot dog fast eating contest winner there, Joey. As we see Wyoming confirming their very first case of measles in the last 15 years. As we see record highs for the first time in 30 years. And again, a lot of this due to the fact that people aren't taking their shots anymore when it comes to measles and things of that nature. It could become a problem. Y'all know that as well as I do. Netanyahu will be coming to the White House today as Trump will host him for a state dinner today. We do hope, and I said state, not steak. I'm not sure what they're going to have, but good luck to them with how that turns out there. Hopefully peace is right around the corner for everybody. I'm right with you, Diane. I'd be sick of hot dogs. I wouldn't want a hot dog for the next year.
$10,000
It's
for
$10,000?
the winter.
That ain't that good, Odie.
No.
Because think about that, $10,000, a trip to a hospital is probably $20,000. I'm not exaggerating. Y'all know that. You see what the price of those pillows are? Tropical Chantal has downgraded to a tropical depression. That is good news as it makes its way inland. We'll look at that on the weather forecast here in a moment there, but I thought you should know that. Jurassic World Rebirth, I think is the name of the movie. It claimed the top title over the weekend. That's always a big 4th of July thing. $318 million at the global box office. I think it took in $150 million in the U.S. That's a lot, isn't it? I wouldn't have signed up for this because I can't understand a word he says. I've watched his show. I've watched him try to talk, and he mumbles mostly. And Ozzy is what I'm talking about. Ozzy did a farewell live performance this weekend, and again, he's not in his best of health. They put him in a chair, and he rose up out of the floor. They had a lot of other people singing with him, and well, you know how that is. Ozzy Osbourne. 40,000 people turned out for it, though. Him and his band Black Sabbath. I don't know if y'all remember when it became popular, but it wasn't a real big thing in the South with a band named that. They did a lot of things that were, in my opinion, that crossed the line. The concert was in London over the weekend. It wasn't my kind of thing. Our hearts go out to Texas as a 9-year-old little girl died in the back seat of a car. Y'all seen this? Her mother carried her to work, took snacks. She died in the car in the sweltering heat. Awful, awful. Oscar Mayer recalling 368,000 pounds of turkey bacon being recalled over Listeria contamination. That's a lot of meat. That's what's going on there. Maybe y'all remember this, of the lady that in Australia that was accused of, murder, feeding her family poisonous mushrooms. She has been found guilty after a weeks-long court. She hasn't been sentenced yet, but she faces life in prison before sentencing. Death penalty doesn't look to be on the block on that, but she'll spend the rest of her days most likely behind bars. They should have that. They haven't announced when they will do that, but we'll see. What else has happened? The pediatrician accused, have you seen this? And they didn't tell us much that first day. We brought this up on Friday. A pediatrician, the mother was 36. She was arrested for the death of her 4-year-old daughter. Now, as we get into the details of this, her and her husband were most likely going through some form of a split. He didn't know she was out of the state. The little girl was found floating in the swimming pool. The mother reported it. Authorities came, pulled her from the pool. The problem was she had no water in her lungs as an autopsy was done. This has not been confirmed, but they are saying that the marks on her face resembled that of a pillow. And again, that hadn't been proven. That's initial thoughts on it, but one thing is for sure, she did not drown. An investigation is ongoing. There was a lot of people giving the police a hard time for cuffing the mother at the time. They may be onto something. She's been arrested. We'll see where it goes. This can't be good for the political system in America. Have y'all seen this? Elon now starting a third-party political party. it usually doesn't go very far because you don't have any members in Congress, and it's tough to get bills passed when you're the outside person. We'll watch this, see what becomes on it. Now, it's a long ways from our next election. We'll see if this works for him or not. Homeland Security. You just really can't beat some of the stuff that they put out. Let me show you the post that they made on X this weekend. Here it is. If you're in the United States illegally and wish to join the next protest in Mexico City, please use the CBP Home app to facilitate your departure. I just went ahead and put it out there. Little humor with that as well as the truth. Let's see what else is happening here. We had a Texas police officer killed over the weekend. He was killed by a protester at an ICE facility. He was shot in the neck. He was killed. Murder charges are coming. Senseless. There was no sense in that. And I scratch myself as I read this. And I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I really don't. But the guy running for mayor in New York, his last name is something like Mamdani, something Mamdani. Again, I'm not real good at pronouncing that type name, but I did my best I could there. Trump says pretty much, who has a history of spewing sometimes insults, says that should he be elected, he'll deport him. And they could take over the city if he were to be elected. We'll see what happens with it. This guy is real left. He's left of left, if that makes sense. New York definitely does not need this. But we are talking New York, so I don't know how voters actually do there. It's a different type area. Y'all know that as well as I do. Let's see what else we've got. We had a California teen that has been missing since the end of June. Her body has been discovered. She was 18 years old. She was last spotted with a male. They are now looking for him. Her parents are in distress. How horrible that is. A little over a week before they found her. Indianapolis is where we go for our next story this morning, as we see that 2 teens were killed and 5 others were wounded in a mass shooting. Indianapolis is where it all happened over the weekend. The Pope taking a 6-week vacation. Oh, don't worry. They say he's taking along some work to keep him occupied. But, boy, that's pretty good there. 6-week vacation, wouldn't you say?
Do with that.
Yeah. It's traditional for the Pope to do that. Joe took a lot when he was president, if I remember correctly. It was a lot.
But
Trump, he don't remember. He doesn't. Trump does a lot of golfing. I don't know if you call his vacation, but he does do a lot of golfing. I think he does a lot of business there on the golf course. Now, this is not good as I look at world headlines. Russia becoming the first country to recognize the Taliban as rule in Afghanistan. That's not good. It is Russia, but still. I watched this morning, and Spain, the running of the bulls. Anybody ever had the desire to do that? I watched them run down the street. I think it was 4,000 people in a narrow little corridor where they let loose of those bulls, and here they come, boogie there, boogie there. You can get gored. Most get, trampled. It's not for me. Just because it's tradition doesn't mean it's a good idea. You know what I mean by that? That's dangerous, but at least 23 were injured is what there's. Boy. Those bulls, I think most of Southerners will remember and relate that to a Bremer bull. You ever been fishing and one get after you? I have. I remember that as a kid. You got to jump that fence good, quick. But I'm not going to do it on purpose. Let's see what else is happening. New Jersey over the weekend, we'll get to Texas in a minute there, was hit hard with storms. We did have someone killed there. 4th of July celebrations had to be canceled as storms hit. I think 2 people were killed. And again, trees falling on cars. A 79-year-old and a 25-year-old were killed in New Jersey as storms approached there. Let's see here. What we were looking at when it comes to this Texas flood, we look at what happened of the water rose in 5 hours 36 feet. From 2 a.m. to 7 a.m., it was quick. The death toll at this point, as we look at Texas this morning, is somewhere around 82 people. They are expecting this to rise over 100 before it's all said and done. As we well know, there's even in our area, there's family connections to Texas. And I'd have to go back and read. I don't remember which politician it was that was saying nasty things about that little girl's camp. It was just uncalled for. It's heartbreaking. And we saw the youth guide. I think he was 70 years old. Gave his life helping save those little girls. It's massive of what's gone on in Texas. We want you to remember them over the weekend. Pray for them. It's going to be a long journey back. Anybody want to believe this? I don't care who's in charge of the government. I cannot believe that this is true. Pam Bondi says there is no Epstein client list. Although, what's the girl's name that was his assistant? She's in jail for... They go... Yeah, she's been... Gasoline is her last name. She spent 20 years in jail for sex trafficking. They say the video is out, too, that they got 11 hours that nobody walked down that hall. Anybody want to do some whistling right now? No client list, you say? I would say something disappeared.
They haven't found the client list, maybe.
They hadn't found?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it ain't never coming to light, and y'all know that as well as I do. Why? There's too many important people on that list. It has disappeared, and that's why there is no video supporting anything else. Case closed, as they might say. Yeah. The night the lights went out in whatever town this was. Yeah. Yeah, I don't fall for that. And I don't think most Americans do either. California warehouse. This was bad at a warehouse that held fireworks. Caught on fire over the weekend, right before the 4th. 7 bodies have been recovered from that. It was a huge blast. I don't know if y'all saw this. Michael Douglas says he has no intentions of returning to acting anymore. He said he would if it was a big role, but overall he's just basically going to sit back and, well, ride this out. Disney making way for some new attractions. Let's see what they're closing here. As we go down here, here it is. It is Rivers of America. It was part of the 1971, been there since 71, and also the Liberty Bell Steamboat and Tom Sawyer Island going away. And started that in 73. Piston Peak National Park will be their largest expansion. I've never been. Have y'all? You ever been, Odie?
Yeah, I was real young.
Odie, when he was young, we never got to do that as a kid. Didn't do it as an adult either, but I hear it's nice, but rather expensive if you do that. Let's see here. What else we have this morning? Stars of Nip Tuck, Julian McMahon. He has passed away from cancer at the age of 56. Maybe you know him. We also have a former White Sox pitcher, Bobby Jenks, has died at the age of 44. My, oh my, that is young, isn't it? That's a few of the headlines that are shaping America this morning. We've got a lot to talk about when we get the morning show started. We'll tell you about what happened locally. We'll dig deeper into depth with some of these as we list. LaWanda says Clinton's probably on that list. Can't have that, can we?
We know that name was on his flight record.
It was like Charlie Rich lighting that CMA. Well, there's nothing to see here. Again, if y'all believe that's some oceanfront property there, isn't it? We'll be right back as we get this morning started.
Hi, this is Nick at Doc's Toyota, and we are excited to put you in a new Toyota today. We have no dealer markup, no hidden fees, no hassle, and our inventory is always priced to move. Our top-notch sales department and first-class service after the sale guarantees you a fast and comfortable buying experience like you've never had. So come see why month after month, more and more customers have chose to buy from Doc's Toyota. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
For over 40 years, you've been able to count on Watt Equipment in DeKalb, Mississippi. They've got your Massey Ferguson's brand new 23 up to 135 horse cab and air tractors. They've got all your hay equipment needs, all your bush hogs. If your tractor needs it, they got it. Also remember, they service all makes and models, whether it's green, orange, blue, red, or yellow. They can get your parts in, they can do your service on your equipment. Don't forget Watt Equipment, DeKalb, Mississippi.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and record lows back in 77, it was 102. Back in 24, we had 58 today. As we come across to look at this, as we go to Demopolis, we should see 93 today. We didn't get an update from Jackson yet. 94 in Birmingham as we come to look at this. And this is going to be the heat stress this week. The Meridian area, somewhere around 105. Once you get to Jackson and south around Laurel, Hattiesburg area, we're expecting 110. We should see about 100 today in the Meridian area as temperatures quickly climb. Whew, it's going to be warm there. Here it is, that southern portion there, right there. That's where that 110 is coming in there. The Meridian area should be at that 105 area as we look at that 6 to 10 day outlook. As we look at the temperatures, anywhere from 94 to 95, depending upon where you're standing, we should see that 40% chance of showers moving in this afternoon. We'd say sometime after 2 o'clock, a 40% chance there. High today, 94, 95, but the heat index 100. As we look at tomorrow, 50% chance of showers, and this increases as we go across. If you washed your car this weekend, too bad, isn't it? 60%, 70% lingering through the weekend. We could have a wet July. We'll see how this turns out. Let's see what else we've got as we go all the way through the 21st. Chances, small chances there around the 14th and 15th, and medium chances there all the way through the 21st there through July. A wet July, isn't it? Lots of rain chances there, making that hay grow. As we look at the weather, well, fishing. Let's go out to Clarkdale Superette where you get all that you need there from crickets to minnows. Best fishing time today is going to be around 9:15 this morning. It should last to about 11:15. That's pretty good for a morning fishing trip. And you'll have a minor chance this afternoon around 5 o'clock when you get off, 5 to 6 being the best there is. Your next chance is after dark. Well, they have that song, Fishing in the Dark. Y'all remember that, don't you? Sunrise, 5:54 this morning. Sunset at 8:05 p.m. Not bad at all there. As we look here, this is what we're seeing here. Let's go to live radar, and let's look at this morning as we look at all of our radar. Here's the radar this morning as we look across Mississippi, Alabama, all clear there. We do show some showers making its way toward Destin. If you're in Panama City, Florida, Apalachicola, Florida, there's some rain approaching you. And we do have a special marine warning there on the coast of Florida there. Moving this way toward Navarre Beach, Fort Walton, Santa Rosa Beach, some showers there. As we go up, let's look at this. This is where we are this morning as this is made inland. As we look here at Chantel, she's a tropical depression. Her wind speed now is 29 miles an hour, gust of 40 miles an hour. Pressure is at 1,009 millibars, moving northeast at 15 miles an hour, and this will affect that northeastern portion there. As we look at this, Roanoke out here to the west, Petersburg, right there is where this is cutting across Virginia, making its way toward Salisbury. Nothing major with this. I think it made inland of around 50 miles an hour when it made landfall. Nothing major. It could have been a whole lot worse for everyone as we track these storms. So far, nothing in the Gulf this year. Let's go back and take a look at the Gulf as we pull this up. Nothing happening there. We've had several on this side over in Mexico, but nothing happening in the Gulf of America. That's good news. A lot of lightning out there, but we're all looking great as we look at the tropics for today. And again, we're going to be kicking off the morning show. We hope you'll join us beginning at 7. A long weekend for a lot of people who got that extra day off on Friday for the 4th. A few of you even got a vacation hidden in there. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's good to get a break every once in a while. We'll be right back as we get this day started together. Odie is in the house. We're making coffee. I hope you will too. Join us beginning at 7 at the Scotty Ray Report.